Thanks guys, this is Steve Lord from Safe Shores Greenbelt. Before I start, a little housekeeping please. If the fire alarm goes, please ignore it. It's Andy Burnham and Steve Irvin hiding behind bushes over there, trying to disrupt the meeting. I'd like to tell you a story. It's a story about how Safe Shores Greenbelt Group created a press release on pollution for the newspapers, radio and TV. But it's more than that. It's a story that also reveals how all of us here today are viewed by Oldham Council and its chief planner. When our group got together for the first time, just after the release of the second spatial framework, we quickly decided a lot of things in the bar of the Fairview. One of those things was media coverage. And because I'd watched all 5 series of House of Cards on Netflix, I was chosen as the media person. We agreed to try and post press releases every 2 to 3 weeks. Our first release was pretty generic. Proposals spell Armageddon for Shore and Crompton, said the newspaper headline, and we freely vented our feelings and frustrations. But the second press release, we decided to look at air pollution. We believed it was going to be a key issue going forward. We did our research. We found a government-sponsored website that illustrated pollution levels on roads and motorways. And it revealed that Milrow and Newhay, near exit 21 of the M62, suffered the highest possible levels of nitrogen dioxide. We thought, crikey, we've got a story here, because this is right where Oldham and Rochdale councils want to build 700 houses in the science park, smack bang in the middle of acres and acres of glorious Greenbelt farmland. We thought if they build those 700 and another 4,000 around Shore and Crompton and Royton, potentially 10,000 extra cars, well, those highest levels of nitrogen dioxide are going to go through the roof. But then our pollution story got even better, because the national charity Asthma UK, in a swinging indictment of our air quality, announced that Manchester had the highest asthma admissions in the whole of the country. But the god of media hadn't finished. She kept giving, because in the same week as the asthma story, the Attorney General, the country's top legal voice, overturned an inquest verdict allowing new evidence linking a young girl's asthma attack and death to, yes, nitrogen dioxide. And then came the icing on the cake. An American university's research delivered another stark warning about nitrogen dioxide. Their research of 1,300 women who'd lost babies showed that raised levels of nitrogen dioxide increased the risk of losing a pregnancy by an incredible 16%. Our story was complete. The media lapped it up. The story was published. But then, a few days after publication, I turned up to one of Oldham Council's Let's Give Nothing Away and Hide Behind Government Guidelines consultation meetings. And when I presented our press release to Oldham's top planner, Mr. Steve Irvine, I was stopped in my tracks. Within a minute, in a casual and dismissive wave of his hand, he trashed our story. And in a manner not unlike Donald Trump, he told me it was fake news. And his corporate communications department would be responding, but was still waiting. He then showed me his GMCA website illustrating pollution levels across the boroughs. And well, my, the screen was like a big white bedsheet with the tiniest scattering of red spots showing pollution. So, the government-funded website we used was simply dismissed. The highest rate of asthma attacks in the UK was simply ignored. Nitrogen dioxide levels at Milrow and Newhay were deemed fake news. Our community's genuine worries and concerns about our children's health was brushed aside, and our fears about pregnant mums losing unborn babies was pushed out of sight under Irvine's wooden trestle consultation table. The chief planner ignored all of these genuine fears and concerns of the Shore and Crompton community, and that for me is the biggest indictment so far in this alleged second consultation process. They didn't listen to a word we said on the first spatial framework, and they're still not listening. This story highlights the arrogance of the local council and planning department, their lack of original thinking, their lack of innovation, their pathetic reliance on ticking boxes, their contempt of our feedback, their hiding behind government guidelines, and worst of all, their total and utter lack of empathy, care and understanding of our passionate community. That indictable list is totally unacceptable for the local planning authority. They should be ashamed. I think all of you here today would agree, Oldham Council, it's time to listen.
Thank you.